Shalom. We are the I.S.U.P.K coming out of 1 West on 25th Street, New York, on the commanding GEN.YAHANNA.
Damn right.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go into some science. Three together.
Damn right. And if you want to go ahead and break up what you want to break up, sir, about the history, I just want to wait till tomorrow.
I'm just going to wait till tomorrow.
All right, most time Christ. Most time Christ. Today's class, like Dr. Trump said, is it's not so much as merging the science and history, because the fact of the matter is this: history, science in the Bible is our history. That's a part of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians culture. That's what we've always been known for. And anybody else that tries to stake claim to that is doing what they've always done. And that's steal from the Lord's chosen people. You understand? Point blank, period. Just like that. Any great feat that you ever seen accomplished on planet Earth was done behind a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Everything. Like they start now to make movies about it. Like it's a movie called Hidden Figures, where they had the Israelite women showing how versed they were in mathematics. My thing is this: where do you think they learned the mathematics from? They didn't learn it from no goddamn heathen. No Korean didn't teach it to them. They learned it from their husbands. They learned it from generations of that being passed down through their blood, as well as the knowledge being passed down, period. Because there was a point in time in our history where we used to pass our knowledge down verbally. We would teach it. Like we see all these things about colleges and schools and all of this. My thing is this: for the oppressor to open up a college, where did he go to college at?
Right.
Like we hear all these things about Albert Einstein. So my question is this: who was Albert Einstein's teacher? Where did he learn it from? You know why you never hear about the so-called teachers? It's because they learned it from Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
And they don't want to give them any goddamn credit. They never do. But everything that they learned, Plato and all them cats, and Greek philosophy, who do you think they learned that philosophy from?
Oh, except for the screwing goats and all
that.
Oh, yeah,
no. That was some stuff they added. You know the white man got to put his own twist on it. Yeah. He put the goats in there like he made Christ white. He got to put his own twist on it. That's just what he do. But the actual knowledge, he learned that from Black men, from Black teachers. I remember I was watching a video, man. It was talking about the elders of China. They said when they went into the mountains of China, that when they went to go talk to the elders, they said the elders were Black with afros. With afros and full beards, which means that they knew about the law, statutes, and commandments, which means they weren't cutting their hairs, which means they was letting their beards grow, and they was the elders. Now, before we get deep into the class, if we got any questions, like today is the science class, so if you have any science questions, any questions, period, but if you got any science questions, let's get them. You understand? And we want your science questions to pertain to the Bible. Not, you know what I'm saying, pertain to the Bible. Point blank, period. And for you Christians that's watching, we'll even answer the question on where babies come from. Because in your mind, women can just miraculously become pregnant. Right. So the angel got her pregnant. The immaculate conception.
The bottom gland.
Right, the bottom gland. So if you need us to answer where babies come from, we'll answer that tonight. This is the science class. There's a science to that. There's a science to being with a woman. Trust me on that.
There's a question. Where does that come from that they say that women can have a baby without a man? Where does that come from?
It comes from Christian philosophy. That's where that comes from. That comes from the Catholic Church accepting the doctrinage of all that Greek and Roman mythology. That's where that filth comes from. You understand? We don't believe that here in I.S.U.P.K.
Also, it comes from Egyptian feminist worship.
Oh yes, damn right.
Come from that too.
Damn right. Heavy point, sir. Heavy point. It comes from that. We don't believe that here in I.S.U.P.K. because in the scriptures it tells you all through the scriptures that everybody knew that Christ was the son of David. They knew it. That's what they called him, the son of David. So what does that mean? They was just calling him that for fun? No, because they knew where he came from. The angel told him, this is your son. You get what I'm saying? This is your son. We about to get it in. But no, we don't believe that here in I.S.U.P.K. That's that Egypt swallowgy crap, where they bust seed in their own mouth and spit it out. Some filth like that. You get what I'm saying? They on that weird stuff. We don't do that here in I.S.U.P.K. If it ain't in the Bible, we don't teach it. It comes straight up out the Bible, so we teach it. Science, believe it or not, comes straight up out the Bible, so we teach it. And we're going to start from the beginning. I'm going to ask the same question that we asked 2 weeks ago. I want to see who was paying attention. If we was to go into science in the Bible, people online, if we was to go into science in the Bible, where would we start at? What would be the very first scripture that we would start at? Go ahead.
Genesis, the beginning.
Damn right. Genesis. If we was to go into science in the Bible, we would start at Genesis 1:1. I know, listen, I know it's scaring you. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Science? Genesis? Because when you read Genesis in the Christian church, this is what you see. I need some. This is what you see right here. You see somebody doing this. Abracadabra. Espelioso. Or whatever the crap they be saying. What's the name of the crap? Like, that's what you see. You see somebody in there. Hiya! Whatever the magic stuff is they say now.
They like Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam. You know what I'm saying? Abracadabra. They hit him with the Dave Chappelle. Abracadabra. Abracadabra. That's what you see. That's not the case at all. That is not the case at all. So anybody online, I need you to answer me this. We're going to start from the beginning. I want y'all to make sure that y'all understand this, and then we're going to get deep into it. What is the 3 basics of science? You need 3 things in order to get science even cracking. Go ahead. Time.
Matter.
You know it.
Time, matter.
I'll give you a hint. Where's the oppressor at right now trying to build a space program, a Star Wars program?
Oh, sky?
Yeah, but what is known as what?
Space.
In order to begin science, you need time, space, and matter. Why is time so important? When it comes to science, when it comes to anything, time is important. We understand that when we're in the world, that's one thing. You only got one life. That's what the Christians say. You got to live one life. You ain't got time to waste. Every day is an important day. You get what I'm saying? Like, they understand it then. Like, time is important when it's convenient for them. But now that we about to break it down in Genesis, don't nobody understand what I'm saying now. But like, prime example, they tell you dinosaurs was here how long? How long ago? According to the European science. They tell you millions of years ago, right? Millions and millions of years ago. You get what I'm saying? That's why time is important. Because you have to be able to place something. You have to be able to give it a date.
Oh, so
go ahead.
The history.
Right. That's a part of the history. So right now, we're living in the what?
The present.
The present. When we talk about dinosaurs, we're talking about what?
Past.
The past. And when Christ returns, we're talking about what?
The future.
The future. Damn right. Here in the next couple of days, hopefully. Salaki. Let's get this war cracking if I could. Salaki. You know what I'm saying? We ready for Christ to return. You understand? We're ready. But we talking about the future when we speak on things like that. So like, and what the European does, what the oppressor does, is he likes to carbon date things. That's his number one favorite thing to do. He'll find y'all seen that little thing where he got the Gadite chick mummified and she's perfectly preserved though, and they're trying to carbon date her.
I seen something like that.
Like they love to do that. They do it with rocks. They do it with everything they find. They find this phone and carbon date it. This is a 2001 phone. You know what I'm saying? Like they put a date on everything. But they don't understand that when it comes to Genesis. When it comes to Genesis, they don't understand the time in that.
Right. Because
they trying to give the Lord a time limit. They trying to actually put a time and date on the Lord. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put a time and date. Go ahead, sir.
Man, how does carbon dating work?
Listen, carbon dating is a bunch of bull crap. You understand? If you ever notice with the carbon dating, they're always refining the methods. Like they just came up with a new method of carbon dating. Like prime example, with the trees, when you're carbon dating a tree, how did they tell you how old a tree is?
By the rings.
Yep, by how many rings it got in it, right? But now they didn't change that up. Now they going by the bark. Look how old this bark is. If we cut this whole forest down and make a chair out of it, then we'll be able to tell you how old this forest is. Like that's how the white man works. You can't believe his science. You can't believe his science. Like prime example, if you do a DNA test, right? What are they doing? They're telling everybody they're from Africa.
Right.
Everybody's from Africa.
They had two identical twins do DNA tests in two separate places.
Right.
And they put it as if and they were identical twins.
Right.
And you know, identical twins, they share, you know what I'm saying?
Same everything.
Yeah.
That's why they're identical twins.
Right.
And that goes to show you can't trust the white man's science. Like his carbon dating techniques is flawed. And the new technique that they use to carbon date it, they use dry ice. They freeze a piece of whatever they're using to try to date it and some other filth. Like the crap is crazy. They freeze it, put a drip of whatever on there, put it in some machine. Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's that Da Vinci Code crap, which has no absolute science behind it. There's no science behind it. But we about to get into some real science. We got any more questions before we push forward?
Wow.
Let's get Genesis 1:1. We about to get into some real science. Like the soldier told you, in order to even get science cracking, we need three key basics. We need three key things. That's time, space, and matter. Time is what? Past, present, future. Let's get it.
Genesis 1:1.
Go ahead.
In the beginning.
Listen, that's the time right there. In the beginning. That's all you need to know. Right? Hey, you understand it when your parents tell you that, when your mama used to tell you that.
Right.
She tell you don't worry about it. She tell you get dressed, we about to go. When we leaving? Didn't I tell you get dressed? Don't worry about when we leaving. Did you ever worry about it, or did you do what the hell she told you? Now, if you can do that with your mama, you can do it with the goddamn Lord. Salaki, my language. You can do it with the Lord. If he tells you in the beginning, you don't need to be trying to put a date with that. You just need to understand in the beginning. Because your time, the way that you perceive time and the way that he perceives times is on two totally different levels. What you say, you trying to slap box with the Most High, but your hands, you ain't got, you can't reach him. Go ahead, sir.
Right.
Somebody asks, how does the Lord see time then?
The Lord sees time. It's a scripture in there that says, one day unto the Lord is like 1,000.
Right.
1,000 years.
And also talks about the earth wasting away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's something in also in the Apocrypha that goes in that too.
But the whole purpose of that, once more, this is how you know the Bible is a black man's book, because it tells you that the Lord perceives time. One day unto the Lord is like 1,000 years. That's not meaning the actual one day is like unto 1,000 years. What's that saying is that the way that he perceives time is far beyond anything that you could comprehend. Like he moves in dimensions. You get what I'm saying? Like we understand that when we talk about Captain Tazarias Cologne, the fourth dimension, we get it then. Like it's angels right here all around us. Right now. It's angels all around us. But we can't see them because they're moving in a whole different time zone. They're moving in a whole nother dimension.
Right. They actually live outside of time.
Right.
That's why they don't age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We understand it though when we're watching the White Man's History Channel,
right,
and he explaining it.
Right.
But when we getting it fresh out the Bible, we trying to break it down to an exact time and exact date.
Right.
The Salaki, their president, never giving you an exact time or date. That's why all his stuff is theoretical.
Right.
His science is always theoretical. There's nothing theoretical in this book. Like I said, when you hear in the beginning, you just accept that for what it is in the beginning. You get me? That's just what it is. The Lord, his perception of time is far beyond anything that we can comprehend. My beginning is different from the Lord's beginning. You get what I'm saying? Next, you're going to be asking, where does the Lord come from? who was his daddy. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's not our concern. What we need to be concerned with is following law, statutes, and commandments. It's that simple. It's that simple. Following law, statutes, and commandments. And actually, to tell you the truth, the whole purpose of science is for us. We're not supposed to be giving our science and our traits and our secrets to anybody. The knowledge that we know, the knowledge that we have, is just specifically for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
It's just specifically for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. There's certain things that's to be passed down that's only to be passed down to your people. You get what I'm saying? It's that simple. But like I said, the Lord perceives time in a whole nother dimension. You get what I'm saying? It's in a whole nother dimension. It's not on no level at all. That science hasn't been found out yet. We working on it. We gonna find out when World War III comes. But when World War III happens and the Lord comes, ask him, how do you perceive time? He'll probably show you, and that'll be the last we see of you. Your head gonna explode. You know what I'm saying? You can't handle that knowledge. Your head gonna explode. It's a lot. Let's get some more of them scriptures.
In the beginning, God created the heaven
He created the heavens
and the earth.
All right, so now right there we got the other two keys of science. We got the beginning. We know that's time, past, present, future. Now he created the heavens. Heavens would be what? You know, soldier?
Space.
Space. So space consists of what?
Matter.
No, that's two totally different things. Space consists of length, width,
and
height. Exactly. Those are the three keys to space. Like there's a scripture where it talks about, could you measure the heavens? Could you measure how much does the wind weigh? How much does the fire weigh?
Right.
Like it's a scripture like that. You can't, like right now, they're sending off stuff to Pluto and Mars. They sent this stuff off in the 80s. It ain't got there yet. You get what I'm saying? And they telling the world it's going to be there in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. It ain't got there yet. And then when it do get there, they see so much crazy stuff that they refuse to tell the world what they actually saw. You get what I'm saying? Like the Bible tells you about what's going on Earth. You get what I'm saying? And a little bit about the heavens. It tells you mostly what you're supposed to be doing, focused on you. I ain't got nothing to do with everything else. You get what I'm saying? And let me tell you, there's some other stuff out there. But you're going to find that out the hard way. You get what I'm saying? You're going to find that out the hard way, and it's going to be funny to a brother like me. You get what I'm saying? It's going to be funny. When you see them angels come back, you get what I'm saying? When you see them black people get off them chariots, you see the ones with the four heads, it's crazy, the wings, and woo! Listen, you're prepared to see some stuff. You're gonna be asking them questions like, where you from? Mars. I've been living on Mars this whole time. They're gonna be like, living? What is that? I've been existing. You get what I'm saying? Everything moves at a different level than you, human. You get what I'm saying? The Lord put us here He made us for a certain thing to do. He made everything else for a certain thing to do. Everybody has a role to play. The cows have a role to play. The bees have a role to play. The birds have a role to play. The humans have a role to play. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you have a role to play. And guess who else have a role to play? The angels. And we all operate at different levels, do we not? Them too. You get what I'm saying? So when you hear the word space in the beginning, just understand that the Lord created all of that, and he created a lot of stuff. He did. Point blank period. He created a lot of stuff. So space is going to be width, length, and height. There is no length, width, or height to space. You can't go to the edge of the universe. I know you've watched Star Trek, and they act like they went to the edge of the universe and back and all of that.
Right.
There is no edge of the universe. You get what I'm saying? It don't matter how many lifetimes you could live, you can never make it to the edge of the universe. The only person that could do it is the Most High.
Right.
That's the only person that could go to the edge of the universe and back. It's the Most High. You can't do it. You get what I'm saying? This is a never-ending thing. So then we get to the next part. In the beginning, he created the heavens. In the beginning, he created the earth, and he created Salaki, I'm messing up the scriptures. Just read it, soldier.
In the beginning, God created the heavens.
The heavens.
And the earth.
And the earth. That's what I was trying to get out, Salaki. Now, the earth will fall under what?
Matter.
Matter. And in order to have matter, you must have what? What are the three keys to matter?
Liquid.
Liquid.
Solid.
Solid.
Gas.
And gas. Damn right. We got all of that on earth. We got liquids, solids, and gases. Right now, we breathing in gases and exhaling gases. We know carbon dioxide is a gas when we breathe it out.
Right.
When you fart, what do they say? This nigga passed gas. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is a part of life. That's matter. We don't even know that's matter. When it rains real hard, how does the rain get back up to the heavens? It evaporates into gas. When something evaporates, it turns into gas. You get what I'm saying? If it's too hot, like we've all seen them days in the summertime where it's 90 degrees out and it's so hot that it causes the rain to come down. And then when the rain comes down, it instantly starts sizzling on the concrete and you can feel the steam coming up. Like right after it rains, it was hotter than what it was before. And it was just 90 something. Now it just shot up to like 105.
Right.
Niggas like, I'm going in a house. I'm not. I got to get out this heat. Because now that all that steam, that gas is all in the area. You get what I'm saying? This is a part of the science behind how the Lord created the earth. Like, and once more, we've all been privy to this when we've watched little science shows, when we was in school learning about it.
Right.
We know about how the earth was just a steaming pulpit of hot liquid. I don't know what to call it, magma or what, but it was a hot steaming pulpit of nothing but liquids. You get what I'm saying at the beginning, and it even goes into it in the scriptures how he moved upon the surface of the waters. Let's get it, as a matter of fact.
And the earth was without form.
It was without form, which means it was all liquid, all gas, all liquid. It's working into form. Keep going.
And void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Go ahead, sir.
Actually, it's like a big, huge rock.
Right.
And then the water will water all around it.
Damn right.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
Now, let me ask you something. When it says the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, what does that mean? Now, remember, this is a science class. It's not a trick question. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. What's going on with the waters? What is the Spirit of God doing?
He's forming something.
He's starting to create life. He's starting to bring that life into play. You get what I'm saying? As the Spirit of the Most High is moving upon the face of the water, he's making life. He's making this. No, I don't like that. I'll destroy it. You know what I'm saying? I'll make this. No, I don't like that. I'm going to kill that too. You know what? Let me make them like me. Let me make them like us. Hey, angels, how many arms you got again? Someone was like, I got like 12 of them, sir. He was like, no, that's too many. We'll just narrow it down to 2. You get what I'm saying? Like, straight up, this is what was going on. The Lord was a mad scientist, a genius with it. You get what I'm saying? Anytime that he can make blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians so beautiful, so glorious, so just dominate. Look how we dominate the face of the planet, man. That gotta be the Spirit of the Lord. What else could it be? See, let me tell you something about the oppressor. Is so ignorant. He think he exists just because. I'm just here because I'm an oppressor. Like, that's his mindset. I don't believe in anything. Nothing put me here. Nothing could ever make me so great. It's my doing, not anyone else's. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's messed up that he don't even want to give the Lord any kind of credit whatsoever. But that's okay. He doesn't have to. It's not his job to. You get what I'm saying? The Lord put him here for a purpose. He put him here for a purpose. And that was to show us, you get what I'm saying, what happens if we don't serve him. And also to put us in power of position, to show us how to be righteous leaders. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes people are put above you not because they're better than you. Look at the white man. Salaki, an oppressor. Look at the oppressor. He's above us, right? Is he better than you? No way, shape, or form. Donald Trump, listen, you could give me the most remedial hood nigga that you know. And we can line up 100 questions for him and 100 questions for Donald Trump. And who you think gonna get the most questions from? You get what I'm saying? Like just because somebody's in a position of power doesn't mean that they're better than you. The oppressor is a prime example of that. He's in a position of power, but he's not better than you. He's in a position of power so the Lord could show you what not to do, and also what happens when you're in a position of power and you abuse it. You abuse it. What's about to happen here in World War III is about to be a glorious thing. Not to get too far off subject, but you're about to see what happens when you abuse power here soon. When you definitely put your hands on the children of the Most High. Let's get some more on the scriptures.
And God said, "Let there be light."
Once more. Now this is going into more science. Now, what do you think the light is?
Gas.
Right, but what kind of gas? Think of one specific thing. What gives light to everything?
The sun.
The sun, right? And they tell you all the time that the sun is what?
Solar.
No, they tell you what it's made out of. You just said it.
Gas.
Gas. They let you know that the sun is comprised of strictly gas. It gives off all these gas fumes, like all this stuff that is given out. You get what I'm saying? Like they tell you that the sun is made out of gas.
Right.
It's solid underneath, but there's gas. Like the sun is gas. Let there be light. Here you go. Here's the sun. You get what I'm saying? Like that's some hardcore stuff right there, man. That's science. What's more, you gotta have science in order to have life. This ain't hocus pocus. What's that little light spell that they did on Harry Potter? Espilioso, light soul, whatever. Crap. It don't work like that. You get what I'm saying? Even with a light bulb, there's science behind it. There's science behind everything. And there was only one people on the face of this planet that had the knowledge of science, and that's the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. When we go into Genesis and it talks about he breathed life into Adam, what do you think that life was? That life was the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Knowledge just for him. Why do you think they was able to move the way they was moving in the garden? You get what I'm saying? Even when it came to them trying to hide themselves amongst the trees. When it said hide themselves amongst the trees, they weren't trying to hide themselves around among real trees. They was hiding themselves amongst the people.
Right.
Now, in order to hide yourself amongst the people, what form of science do you have to have? Psychology. You have to learn how to adapt. That's a part of psychology. To learn how to blend in with the enemy. To move how they move, to think how they think, to look how they look. That's a part of science. Psychology is science. That's a mental science. That's a mental science. You get what I'm saying? And we're going to get into that later.
But the thing about it, though,
Yes, sir.
when we do that, we end up at the downside of science.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They end up, up, and we end up down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the science that we know and that when we do that, it doesn't really benefit us much.
Right.
It benefits them, it makes them rich. They do science experiments on us all the time.
Right.
Social experiments, all of that.
Right.
That's how they know, that's how they knew to put us in projects.
Right.
So we'd have this crabs in a barrel mentality.
Right.
And then also too, there's, have before us to try and get out of the projects. Right? Nobody else is taught to get out of their neighborhoods.
Right.
Except for us.
Right.
So they doing, scientific numbers on us all day, every day.
Damn right. If I could, soldier, let's get Daniel's 1 and 4. Daniel's 1 and 4, if you could. But also drop is bringing out, it's so heavy though. Like, but we gonna get into that. We gonna dig deeper into that in a little bit. What Officer Trump just said. We gonna get into a little bit of that in just a second.
Daniel 1 and 4.
Go ahead.
Children in whom was no blemish.
We went over this last time. Do you remember what it means to have no blemish?
No fault, like perfect, basically.
Perfect.
Holy.
Right. I'm right. And the children that has no blemish. Now there was only one group of people who was called the children all through the Bible, right?
Israel.
Israel. So when it says in children who was no blemish, he's talking about Israel. We was the only children in the Bible. You get what I'm saying? We was the Lord's children. Keep going.
But well favored.
But well favored. What does it mean to be well favored?
He loves you. He likes you the most.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you notice all through the scriptures, this is all through the Bible. No matter where we went, no matter where the Israelites was, we were well favored. The Lord was always with us. We made every single solitary city that we went to thrive, whether we was free or in captivity. Every place that we went thrived, whether we was free or in captivity. If that's not well favored, what is?
And also, too, want to talk about, the children without the ones with a no blemish.
Right.
It's also talking about the ones that was highly renowned, because the Babylonians, they were carnal.
Right.
They wanted who looked the best, who was the most talented, who they can use,
Right.
for influence. You know what I'm saying? Whatever good thing that they had about them, because they didn't, during this time, they didn't take all of us.
Right.
You had the ones that were, not of the king's seed, that were, had flaws or whatever. But here's the funny thing about that, because those people became wealthy landowners.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And if I could, that's such a heavy point that you're bringing that out, because, they was cardinal. So they looking for the biggest, the strongest,
Right.
and things of that nature. And that goes to show you the difference in the way that we move and the way that everybody else moved. The way that we move was spiritual. Like when King David first became king, because they was bringing all the biggest and the strongest,
Right.
the brothers that was 7 foot, ripped to pieces, looking all strong. And what was the priest saying? No, that's not him.
Right.
That's not the one I'm looking for. No, next.
Right.
They in there flexing like the Mr. Universe contest and stuff. You're like, next. They like, what? Dude, look at this python right here. Like, you like, next. You get what I'm saying?
Surely he a king.
Right.
Surely.
Right. That goes to show you that we operate on a whole nother level. Operating on a spiritual level is something that's crazy, man. And I'm gonna get into that too, because even operating on a spiritual level is science behind that too. But we're gonna get into that in a minute. But like us operating the way that we do, we like Officer Trop said, we weren't cardinal. So we didn't have them cardinal ambitions. We didn't have that, none of that. None of that stuff phased us. Let's get that scripture from the top, if you would, soldier.
Daniel 1 and 4.
Right.
Children in whom was no blemish.
That means we didn't operate cardinally. We operated on a whole nother level, that spiritual level. Keep going.
But well favored.
Well favored by the Lord. Everywhere we go, we gain favor, even from our enemies. Even now in America, certain blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, do they not gain favor from the enemy?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing now. Same thing back then, same thing now. Keep going.
And skillful in all wisdom.
Listen, I ain't got to tell you about this, soldier. You skillful. You have wisdom. When it comes to doing what you do, like you're a roofer, you got skills and wisdom when it comes to that. You know what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You get what I'm saying? Like if you ain't got the right tools, you're going to make the right tools. Said, I need a hammer. There's no hammer. I'll use this. You know what I'm saying? And make it work. Go ahead.
Just like Captain always always tells, everybody, this like it says right here, skillful in all wisdom. Like every tribe can do something.
Right.
Tribe of Gad, good at hunting.
Right.
You know learn that from, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tribe of God.
Listen, that's our skill set, man.
Tribe of God.
Like when you think about when we went into slavery, like when you see stuff like the pitchfork and the rake and the shovel and things like that, if you believe a damn oppressor made that, you are seriously mistaken. Let me ask you something. What need would the oppressor have to make it? He had goddamn slaves. He don't care how the hole get dug. You was digging it with your hands like a damn dog. He don't care how the hole get dug. He's not the one digging it. But we are the ones doing it. So we started to develop tools. We started to make tools to make our slavery easier. Like we do now. And here in America, we develop certain things to make our slavery easier. Like now it's on another level. Like look at the setup Cap got. Only an Israelite can think to have a setup like this. Take a little bit of everything and make something work to make his slavery easier. You get what I'm saying? He got 2 different computers, 7 computer monitors. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Where do you think the devil get it from? That ingenuity, that's us. That's why there was a whole saying back in the day, and everybody knows this saying, nigger rig. Yeah, we got a nigger rig this. Like, I worked out of slavery. This is before I was in the truth. And this is how you know the spirit of the Lord was on me. Because the devil said that, and I about beat him to death. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to fix something. He was like, yeah, I see you nigger rig. And then he caught himself. And you know, in my head, then one of them numbers, like on the when it turned upside down, when you knew it, I slapped him. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't mean to slap him. It's just a reflex. You get what I'm saying? Like, this honky just said nigger rig. What's wrong with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know what they try to call it, jerry rig. We're gonna jerry rig it. Like that's what white people say. But the whole terminology came from us because, like you said, we was cunning and had wisdom when it came to everything. We're trying to make our slavery easier. So of course we're gonna rig some stuff up to work for our benefit. Let's get some more. You want something you want to bring up?
Yeah, here's a funny thing about it, because I majority heard black people say that term nigger rig. We even look at our own ingenuity as something, inferior to everybody else's. We'll praise other races.
Salakia, if I could, real quick. Like it's funny that you say that because we will do that unless it has to do with something that's sinful. Like when I was in the world, like we used to smoke weed. So if a nigga make a bong out of anything, then he's the best. You get what I'm saying? Right. And then we don't look at it like it's inferior. Right. But when we're on a job site and we're doing something that makes our job easier, like a brother gonna hate just to hate. Because like you said, like we look at our own devices like the inferior, but we do that out of programming. This is what love and oppressor does to you. It makes you look at the things that you do, like I didn't mean to cut you off, sir, but the things that you do, jerry rig, or should I say nigger rig, that you make your life easier. We look at like man, what the heck? What's wrong with this dude? Why would he do that? Even though it works. Right. You're like, why would he do that? Like we see it all the time with brothers in cars and stuff. Like brothers will rig their car up to, you know what I'm saying? Look how brothers got their speakers hooked up. You get what I'm saying?
And then, the devil will take the same idea, and then we'll appreciate it once he takes it, though.
Right.
Because in reality, we're not appreciating the device. We're appreciating
who made it.
Right.
Right. That's such a heavy point that you brought that out, because that is the absolute truth. Like once more, you don't want nothing that's nigger rigged, but you'll take something that's jerry rigged. You get what I'm saying? Right. That's such a heavy point.
And then boast against black people. See, look what the white man can do. Niggas can't do nothing. Look what the white man can do.
Yeah, I call it the Uncle Ruckus syndrome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They get to acting straight like Uncle Ruckus. You got some more on that scripture?
Oh, go.
Let's get it.
And cunning and knowledge.
Right. Cunning and knowledge. Keep going.
And understanding science.
And understanding who?
Science.
I want you to hold that right there. Hold that spot. And let's get 1 Timothy 6:2. 1 Timothy 6:2. Don't lose that spot because I want you to go back and forth. Now this is a precept that shows you the difference. Now let's get 1 Timothy 6:20.
Timothy 6:20.
Go ahead.
O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust.
Keep that which is committed to thy trust. What is committed to thy trust? The knowledge, the wisdom, the science. That's what's committed to thy trust. The law, statutes, and commandments. According to the law, statutes, and commandments, we're not supposed to be giving away our science and our knowledge to nobody. This is something, if I teach Officer Tarap this, I'm teaching it to him. It's not for the white man that works with him. You get what I'm saying? It's not. It's not for that Korean man. We see what happens when we tool up our enemies. When we give our enemies tools, we see how they use them same tools to defeat us. They use the same things that we giving them to defeat us. Let's rock it out. Let's get some more in the scripture.
Avoiding profane, and vain babbling.
Avoiding profane and vain babblings. You know what this is right here? This is talking about the oppressor science right here. That's what we're going into. Profane and vain babbling. Like when you look at the oppressor science and everybody's from Africa. I'm from Africa. I'm from Africa. You from Africa. Everybody's from Africa, according to the white man's science. You get what I'm saying? You got to avoid that vain and profane babbling. That don't mean nothing. Carbon dating means nothing. Carbon dating is a bunch of bull crap. That's what that is. Let's get some more.
And opposition of science falsely so called.
In opposition of science falsely so called. Let me tell you something about that right there. And if I could, I want to talk a little bit about what's about to transpire here in a little bit, which is World War III. You hear what I'm saying? Like these people now, they bringing out weapons, and they swear up and down that they weapons are state of the art. Their science department. Every army has a science department now. That's what they specialize in, weapons now. The weapons department. The weapons department is a product of the so-called science department. But let me tell you something. What are they doing with them things? Right now in World War III, we already know that this has been prophesied by the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander GEN.YAHANNA since 1969. What's about to happen now has been prophesied. You should have listened to the priests and prophets. Get in, and it may not be too late for you. It may not be too late. Maybe we can still salvage whatever's left of your soul if you get with your brothers and sisters the way you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? There should be no joining America. There should only be joining the priests and prophets of the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. You understand? But like right now, read that scripture again. That science. Read that one more time.
O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust.
Let me tell you something. The reason why these armies even have half the technology they got now, the reason why they have a so-called science department, a science division, the reason it was able to drop atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and every country has a nuclear threat, let me tell you something. It's because of the children of Israel. You get what I'm saying? We was the only people dealing and manipulating in science back then, manipulating matter and things of that nature. We were the only people with the knowledge. We were the only people. We were the chemists. We were the alchemists. You can look back through any time period and you will see who was doing what. When you look at Egypt, when you look at them pyramids, who built the pyramids? It's funny though, because Egypt is known for having Hebrew slaves. Right. Egypt is known for having Hebrew slaves, but the goddamn Hebrew slaves didn't build the pyramids. Right. The goddamn Hebrew slaves didn't make the weapons. You get what I'm saying? That don't make sense. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. If you're not going to build the pyramid. You're not about to have your own people build the pyramid. Yeah. When they go back and they find them old weapons and them biological weapons and all of that, what do you think they learned that from? I can prove it with the scriptures. We're about to get into it. That's why it's like you know the difference between what we just brought out in Daniel's and what we're bringing out now in First Timothy's, because there's a difference between our science and their science. Our science is real science. Their science is falsely claimed to be science.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's falsely claimed. It's profane. It's beneath what is really true science by the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians under the Most High Christ.
Right.
That's why, look at all their weapons now. Look at all their weapons. Why do you think, listen, it don't matter what they do. What they doing with that science right now, who are they really going to fight against? Who are they loading up to fight against? Let's be real.
Right.
God.
Yeah, I'm right. They trying to fight against the Most High.
Right.
That's why they got all these damn big missiles. And go ahead, sir.
But Will, you know, even with the gun, right?
Right.
There's like, as a matter of fact, I think it's First Chronicles 26. I think it is.
First Chronicles 26.
Right. Let's shoot there right quick. I don't remember exactly which scripture it is. Let me find it though. Yeah, I want people to see something. People talk about, you know, who invented the gun and all of that. Well, you know, the gun is a variation of the cannon.
Right.
Right. All right.
Right. That's why the first guns started off firing just like baby cannons.
Right. And look at all the stuff that, you know, they able to do with it. You got whole gun companies,
right.
Or the Winchester,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And what people don't understand also is that weapon making is a science.
Yes.
You have to understand how to manipulate the metal and all of that. Like when we were making swords, like there's a science behind mixing the elements. It falls right in line with alchemy. Alchemy ain't what you seeing on TV with the Full Metal Alchemist where they do that crap and everything happen. You get what I'm saying? No, that's not how it works. It's a mixing of chemicals.
Right.
That's what it is. It's a mixing of chemicals, certain elements. You get what I'm saying? How to mix iron and how to mix like iron and titanium together and how to mix them two different metals and how to heat them up properly and cool them down properly and all of that. All of that is a science behind it, man. As a matter of fact, there's a show. Y'all know what show I'm talking about. Hold on, it'll come to me. Forged in Fire. That's the name of it. If you ever watch that show, it shows you the science behind making weapons. It shows you the different materials and metals that they're using and what exactly they're using and how to use it and all of them things. You get what I'm saying? That art right there and that skill set right there, that is not theirs. That is another stolen art form from blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All of that is stolen from us. But that science right there is science falsely so-called. Read that again. First Timothy 6:20.
First Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust.
Listen, this stuff that we giving y'all is just for y'all. This ain't for everybody. That don't mean when you get done watching this class, you don't have to go to your slavery and tell that oppressor, the science is in the Bible. We made everything. Like, who gives a damn if he knows? He's going to know soon when you're beating his back. He's going to be like, dang, I've never seen a whip like that. Every blade, every whip, every string of whip has a blade in it all the way down to the handle. It don't matter how he hit me with angle, it tears flesh. Like, he's going to see the science when it comes to beating his back.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, this guy, Uzziah, you know, he was a real industrious dude, right? Going to go to Second Chronicles 26:14. Because he was real industrious as the dude that, you know, that he wanted to be a priest, but, you know, he was of the tribe of Judah and everything.
Once more, making gunpowder and all these things, that's a form of science.
Right.
It's a form of alchemy. And that was just to be for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians only. You got it, soldier?
Second Chronicles 7:34.
No. Second Chronicles 26:14.
Come. So 26 and 14?
Right.
Come. I was talking about the page number.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God. 7:24. Come. So 27, 24, right?
No,
26 and
26 and 24. I got it. I got it.
26 and 14.
Oh, come. And Uzziah prepared for them throughout all the host shields and spears and helmets and
Habergeons
and bows and slings to cast stones.
Now, all of these things were already invented long before Uzziah came on the scene, right?
Right.
But watch this when we go into verse 15, though.
And he laid in Jerusalem engines.
Wait a minute. What does it take for an engine? You got to have fire.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You got to have fire for an
You
engine.
gotta have combustion.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And then
And it would say, read that again. Read that part loud.
And he made in Jerusalem engines. Invented.
What he invented them. They wasn't using it at first, right?
Nobody made it before.
Right.
If I invented something, it's my idea.
Right. Go ahead.
Invented by cunning men.
By cunning men.
Cunning men.
Men that were real skillful. Men that found out ways to do things. Go ahead.
Invented by cunning men.
Which brings us back to what we was reading in the earlier scriptures where it talked about how we were cunning men.
Right.
And all wisdom.
Right.
Like this right here is a cunning man in wisdom. He made an engine, invented an engine.
Right.
You know what? This is proof of them were the first engine ever invented.
Right.
Exactly. In the Bible.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Invented engines.
Invented engines. You get what I'm saying? So you can just imagine what he's making. This nigga's probably making baby tanks.
Yeah, watch this. You ready to see? You ready to see? Are you on to it? Go ahead, Warren.
To be on the towers.
To be up on the towers. Go ahead.
And upon the bulwark.
Right. Go ahead.
To shoot arrows and great stones.
Now you hear this? Think about it for a second. Engines to shoot arrows and great stones.
Right.
Huge stones. These ain't no catapults.
Right.
There ain't no catapult, no engine.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that's what I was thinking though.
Yeah. So, you know, so they were firing these stones. Now think about it. What did we call that, you know, in the 1800s? It was called a cannon.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
See what I'm
the
saying?
First cannonballs was made out of brick.
Right.
They started making them out of metal. Because you can always have access to rocks. You just grab a rock and they would chisel them down. Right. Even when you watch old pirate movies, what do? They grab a rock and they chisel it down. Make sure you get all the corners out of that. You want it as smooth as possible so it'll fire smooth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is hardcore. Like this dude had cannons out here.
Right. Now think about it. There wasn't no guns at this time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
To him.
Right. Yeah. Right.
To him.
So that means his inventions, what his skillful men invented, was the precursor to the gun.
Right. And then when he's inventing also, it's like when it talks about how it was shooting arrows and stones, like when it says shooting arrows, you got to understand, like he probably got something that got arrows lined up all through this. And
right.
When you light it, because once more, an engine is combustion. So when you light it and it fires it out, it's firing hundreds of arrows at the same time. It ain't just firing one or two. And you got to reload like a bow and arrow. Because it said in the previous scripture that he also made bow and arrows.
Right.
So if it was a bow and arrow, it would have told you that he was firing arrows.
Yeah. So these were to shoot, you know,
right.
The engines made to shoot arrows and great stones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So he got automatic arrow shooters. So that means he was pulling up on boys like
right.
with the arrow. That's hardcore scripture right there.
Yeah, think about this. So now you flash it, you know, to thousands or so years later, you got the guns going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what did they call guns when they guns first came out? They called them hand cannons.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cannon you can have in your hand.
So we still call them that to this day.
You know, yeah, cannon.
You got a 357.
Right.
What they call that?
That's a
cannon.
Cannon. Yeah.
You got that 500. They call that the big boy cannon.
Right.
You know
exactly. That's what he had right here.
Yeah,
he had this stuff mounted up on the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And listen, you're not about to mount no No, what's it called? The little thing, the flaming one stone at a time.
The catapult.
Yeah, you're not about to mount no catapult up on the wall.
Right.
That's
you
ineffective.
got to put that damn thing on the ground.
Yeah, that's ineffective. That's not gonna get nothing down. What you gonna get down with that? But what you are gonna do is mount that cannon on the wall.
So that means, like say, that microphone right there will be the target. You up on the wall and you fire, boom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Boom, it's hitting that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like everybody that's seen that TV show Attack on Titans, they had the whole wall littered with cannons. That's how I bet you that's how it looked. The whole wall littered with cannons, just firing and tearing them up.
Right.
That's a heavy precept right there, sir. And this is what we're gonna have to go back to here shortly, man. Because a lot of people don't understand, man. When this World War III happened, not to get too far off the subject, but when World War III happened, it's going down. We're gonna have to resort to being cunning, man, in all wisdom.
Right.
We're gonna have to resort back to that. Everybody thinks Esau is this great man, but there's only one ability that Esau was blessed with, and that's to be a cunning hunter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That doesn't mean that we can't be a cunning hunter.
Right.
Because once more, the scripture says that we're cunning in all wisdom.
Right. Exactly.
In all wisdom. Once more, I've never met a European that can do anything that I can't do better. It ain't that we're not cunning hunters. It's just that our heart isn't set on warfare. And his mindset is always war. Like it said, his words was smoother than butter, but in his heart was war. That's him. That's his knowledge. Our heart isn't set on war. We don't like the European is born, and from the second that he's born, the only thing he really wants to see is just the world burn. If he can't have his way, he wants to see the world burn.
Right.
That's Donald Trump now.
He does have his way. He
right.
He still
that
is
him having his way.
He want to see it devour it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, people talk about how Jacob swindled him out of the blessing and all of that. And Jacob knew the way Esau was, the world could not exist in his hands for real long periods of time.
Right.
He's gonna kill everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And not only that, but if you're such a cunning hunter, why didn't you go catch your own damn food and eat?
Right.
Don't be mad at us because we're cunning and wisdom, and we had enough sense to know that we need to get you out of power.
Right.
Just like now. This man needs to be out of power.
Jacob knew to pack his meat on some ice and then go cook it later on.
Right.
Esau, he wanted a fresh kill, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With blood in it, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. And that's the reason why, white people like their meat bloody.
Right.
Because they want to taste the life. They love the fact that they killed this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not a sacrifice, but a murder for real. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. They love the taste of the murder. You know what I'm saying? They get empowered off of that.
That sounds about right. That
definitely
sounds like the European to me.
And that's why they like it. That's why they don't like seasoning on their food. Because they want to taste the raw, you know what I'm saying? They want to taste the animal. I mean, hell, they'll take a bite out of a cow's ass. I mean,
them the only people I know that eat that kill something and be like, here, bite his heart.
Right.
This will plateau your first kill. Bite the heart.
Right.
Beat their son to death if you don't do it. Bite the heart, little Timmy, and then wonder why he runs into a school and murders everybody.
Hell, sometimes they make you eat the whole heart.
Right.
Make him eat the thing. You know what I'm saying? Remember that Game of Thrones? One girl was eating that heart.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, that's their nature. That's okay. They're going to have plenty of hearts to eat now. World War III coming. All you Trump supporters, you make sure that you know what I'm saying, help make America great again.
They're gonna be eating each other's hearts.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be on the battlefield getting it in. It's gonna be looking like Legends of the Fall. Remember when he cut his brother heart out, took it back?
Italy versus Germany.
Yeah, he couldn't take the
Germany
body back.
Versus Sweden and Denmark and all of those, just like in World War II.
Right.
Remember Saving Private Ryan?
Right.
Where you had all of those European countries that were fighting each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And don't worry, oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about me and my household. We're gonna be, you know what I'm saying, sitting back drinking, watching it all unfold.
Yeah, I'm like, man, look at them.
Ready to take authority when the time is right.
Front row seat.
Damn right. When the Most High come back, y'all gonna be in the midst of getting it in, ready to fire them nuclear weapons, and then the sky gonna crack open like, you get what I'm saying? And then you're gonna be like, look at that spaceship right there. They're gonna be like, look at that chariot. The science behind that is incredible. Look how it doesn't make a sound. Then you're going to get to count. Nah, I lost count. There's about 250 of them.
I heard some
250 million of them. Too many
talk about like who invented what and everything, right? White people was taking credit for inventing the wheel, which is common sense. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I set this heavy thing on this thing because I can't move it. You know what I'm saying? Common sense says put a wheel on it so I can wheel it. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't take credit for stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't take credit for stuff like that. I mean, damn. You know what I'm
saying? But in all actuality, though, truth be told, the white man don't even deserve no goddamn credit for that.
No, he does not. All of this stuff was, you know, was in existence before him.
Right.
Hell, his own pagan religions, he can't even have credit for that.
Right.
He was with the Horites. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff came from them. But see, what white people do, they absorbers.
Right.
They absorb whatever it is that they're around. You know what I'm saying?
To the science of theft.
Right, exactly. They like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, next thing you know, it's like they'll run across a people, you know what I'm saying? And this people, you know, they'll, after 50 years, they'd have been done killed part of them off and then dress it in their clothes.
Right.
And then claiming to be them. They absorb everybody. They absorb every culture.
Right.
That's why you see movies like The Last Samurai. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, The Last Samurai, you know, Tom Cruise. Like he was really the last samurai and all of that. You know what I'm saying? They run around with their clothes on, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's what they do all over the earth, you know.
Right.
They absorbed Babylon. And they became the Babylonians today.
Right.
And then also too, you know, there's a lot of science behind the way that the white man is.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
And if I could, I want that to be the lead into where we're about to go next. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon 7:17. Wisdom of Solomon. That's going to be in the Apocrypha.
I know it's like saying, for real, they got Wisdom of Solomon?
Yeah, that's the Apocrypha.
Nah, I was talking about the Bible. I thought he was just switching up the name or something.
The wisdom
is Songs of Solomon?
Yeah, I know.
Nah, that's going to be in the Apocrypha. We're getting our Apocrypha on tonight.
You said 7 and 8?
7 and 17.
7 and 17.
Yeah. Now we about to get it in. Because Officer Drop brought up a heavy point, which is the psyche of the white man, which we about to get into in a little bit. The psyche of the oppressor. Let's go ahead and rock it out. Let's get it.
Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 17.
Go ahead.
For he hath given me certain knowledge.
Now listen, this is talking about, of course, the Most High passing on the knowledge of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians from him. You get what I'm saying? Read that again from the beginning.
For he hath given me certain knowledge.
For he has given me certain knowledge. Go ahead.
Of the things that are.
Of the things that are. Of everything that is. Everything that you see now. Keep going.
Namely, to know how the world was made.
Now, namely to know how the world was made. In order to know how the world was made, you must know, go ahead.
Science.
You must know science. You must know about time. Time. You must know about space. You must know about matter. You get what I'm saying? So that makes Solomon what? A scientist.
Right.
Damn right. Wrap that up. Damn right. That makes Solomon a scientist. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
And the operation of the elements.
Now, let me ask you something. For you to know the operation of the elements, what is that called? We watch it all the time on the morning news. We're gonna get to go ahead.
Weather.
Yeah, the weatherman, but he's called a what? Meteorologist, right? We're gonna get today's weather with our meteorologist, such and such so and so,
Right.
who's usually an oppressor.
Oh,
But as we just got from the Bible, that it started with a black man. You get what I'm saying? To be able to know how the seasons work.
Right.
You got something you want to bring up?
Also, too, when Moses, threw down his staff and it turned into a snake, what is that practice called?
Alchemy.
Right. Totally changing the elements, one thing to another, making it something totally different.
Yep. And just for the record, that is not voodoo, you goddamn Christians.
All right.
That is not magic. That is called alchemy. There is
Right.
a science behind that.
Right.
You must understand these things. And the only way to understand them is to get into the I.S.U.P.K under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. Then you will stop believing in hocus pocus and understand science. Let's get some more on the scripture.
I want to say something right quick. Hey, this is a funny thing. This is how you know Moses was a black man, right? First time when the Lord took his staff and turned it into a snake, Moses took off running. Hey, he ain't play. He got up through there and said, remember he said that Moses fled. And he said, oh, lucky. You know what I'm saying? He took off. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Damn right.
Good.
Let's get some more on the scripture, soldier.
The beginning, ending, and midst of times.
What is the midst, if I will?
Presence.
Right, the middle. That's just what would be like the middle of times, like the now. You know what I'm saying?
To have an understanding and a concept of all of that.
Right.
Like that's why everybody came from all over the world to come get the wisdom of Solomon.
Right.
That's why he was considered the greatest king. You know what I'm saying? Like he was considered one of the greatest kings to ever rule. One of the most wisest kings.
Right.
That's what they used to
He
call
was the
wisest king
outside of Christ.
Right. That's what I was just about to say. They called him the wisest king to ever rule. And correct me if I'm wrong, but what he's supposed to be? Was he a reincarnation of Christ?
Reincarnation of Christ.
What kind? The reincarnation of Christ because of the wisdom that he possessed, because of the way that he moved, because of like we about to get into the scriptures. Let's get some more. Keep going.
The alteration of the turning of the sun.
Now think about that for a second,
Go ahead.
if I will. The alterations of the turning of the sun. What is that? Because the sun does turn.
That's right.
Now think about it. Now check this out. This is some scientific knowledge right here. Now notice on a winter day, right? It can be cold and the sun and it sun be bright. Think about it. Why is it not hot? Why ain't the sun beating down on you real hot at that time, even though it's shining bright?
Because that's a different angle.
Yeah. Because the sun has a cooler side to it, and that cooler side comes forth in the wintertime. Even though it shines just as bright. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get some more on the scripture, soldier. Let's keep rocking it.
And the change of seasons.
And the change in the seasons. Once more. That means he was a meteorologist. Let's get some more.
The circuit of years. And the position of stars.
Listen, the circuit of years and the position of stars. Now, if we could, anybody online to understand the circuit of years and the position of stars, what science is that called? What science is that called? If anybody online can answer that, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to give it a second. I know we sometimes have a delay. Let's see if we can figure it out. And then, if ain't nobody online answered, I want to know if anybody in here can answer. You understand? Because he's telling you that he knows how the world works. He's told you he knows how the world works, how the sun works, and the positioning of the stars. Now, there's a difference between reading the positions of stars and knowing the movement of stars. Go ahead.
With technology?
Yeah, well, it's a science. It's a science. Now, do we got anything online, Cat?
We'll give you a hint.
Astrology. Somebody.
Right.
Jupiter 720 said astrology.
No, it ain't astrology. It's astronomy. There's a difference between astrology and astronomy. Now, what King Solomon is talking about is astronomy. What you're talking about is astrology. Now, if I was to ask you, what was your birth sign? Is you a Cancer, a Leo, or whatever? Now, what is that? That is astrology. But astronomy is the reading of the seasons. You get what I'm saying? To be able to look up at the stars and the skies and the North Star and all that, and be able to like, well, winter will be here in 2 months. You get what I'm saying? Now, that's astronomy. Astrology is to see the Milky Way and say, that's my sign right there. I'm a Cancer. That's why I'm a whore. like that's the difference in it. You get what I'm saying? But whoever answered that question, he was right on the money though. He was right in the ballpark. You get what I'm saying? He was right in the ballpark. I like that in you. But that's what that is. And that there in itself is a science. That's why the oppressor invests in multi-billion-dollar astronomy telescopes and all that stuff around the world. Like that, what you think NASA is? What do you think NASA specializes in?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And they do it both. They do astronomy and astrology. They watch and read that again. Let me tell you what NASA's doing. Read that again.
The circuit of years and the position of stars.
They're watching a circuit of years and the position of stars. That's why they can come and give you theoretical science and say, well, we see this planet and it's 20 million light years away. Right. Because they're watching the position of stars. But once more, where did they learn the position of stars? I'm going to give you a hint. There's an old wives' tale that's going around, and it's been going around for years, and people know it now because the oppressor has spoken on it on the History Channel many times. But there's an old Gadite tribe called the Dogo tribe, right? And they talk about the position of stars and how they learned how to read the stars.
Right.
And then that's when they talk about the sky people that fell. They called them angels, of course. Said they fell from earth and gave them knowledge, certain knowledge, which we was just reading about. And they gave it just to them. They wasn't supposed to give that knowledge to nobody else. That's why when the knowledge started getting spread around, and we're about to get into why the knowledge was spread around later on in this story right here. Actually, I'm lying. That was in Daniel's, I believe. First Daniel, how the king. Yeah, we need to go back to Daniel so you can see how the knowledge started to get spread outside of Israel. Because the king came and knew that Daniel was a scientist.
Right.
He knew Daniel was a scientist, and he knew Daniel had 3 companions. Was them his brothers or just his?
No, they was just
other brothers.
They were actually of the king's seed also.
Right.
They wasn't like direct brothers, but they were, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Of the king's seed.
So he knew Daniel had some, like it was Daniel and it was 2 other people. I can't remember their names.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yep. That's they slave names stuff. Right. Yeah. I was trying to think of their Hebrew names, but the king knew that he was a scientist. So what he did was at first he tried to bribe him. Here, I give you all these wonderful things. You can eat what I eat. You can drink what I drink. You can have your pick of any woman that you want, whatever you want. Just teach us the science. And when he didn't teach him the science, then he resorted to threatening and trying to kill a nigga. Because that's what the oppressor does. Any oppressor. It don't matter if they Hamite, Moabite, Ammonite, Esau. It doesn't matter. That's what they resort to. They try to wine and dine you, and when you don't go for it, they threaten your life. That's how they move. You get what I'm saying? So let's get some more on the scripture real quick. But yeah, we into astronomy. You get what I'm saying? So if he's studying astronomy, what does that make him? What is that title? That scientific title? He's an astronomer. He's an astronomer. That's what he is. If he's studying astronomy, then he's an astronomer, which makes him a scientist. Right. Because an astronomer is a scientist that studies the position of stars.
Right. Now you know why the nations came up to see King Solomon. A lot of times King Solomon will give them something small. They come with all these great gifts. You know what I'm saying? He'd give them something that was relatively small, but they would go back, process the information.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And start to come up off of it.
Right. Right. And that's such a heavy point because once more, I know he was a wise king, but like you see how the other nations, like you said, he would give them a small nugget, and then they would go back and process it and start to come up off of it. That's why we shouldn't be giving these other nations nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Like when we take power after World War III pops off, when we take power, when the other nations come to us, you know what they're gonna get to leave with? Their head if they're lucky.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because I'm not giving them nothing. You think? Listen, my name in the kingdom, I know what it is. Azad the Cruel. They will get nothing from me, and they will like it. Straight up. God. They will get nothing from me, and they will be like, the water out of one. You know what I'm saying?
God.
The water out of one for not giving me nothing and letting me keep my head.
Right.
I'm like, put your hand out. Wham! Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. That's how it's gonna be. Salakia.
They come through with all the gifts and like want some knowledge and wisdoms, like red fish, blue fish.
One fish, two fish.
They were like, man, that was deep. You know what I'm saying? They come back to their land. Red fish, blue fish. They are trying to produce blue fishes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And red fish. You know what I'm saying?
What wisdom do you have for me, O great king? You probably want to get out of this city in the next 5 minutes. It's the best wisdom I got for you. I can't control these soldiers.
They done sat there and made a blue fish, and they selling it at $500 in a restaurant.
Right. But listen, that's what they do though, because everything that we do, they take to heart. Like it's always been taught. They mimic everything that the tribe of Judah does. We wear a snapback, they wear a snapback. If you notice now, these heathens out here now trying to rock the Mitris how we do. They trying to rock these right here. That's what they doing now. They won't let a nigga have nothing. Now you see them with the Tams on. Right. They going hard out here. You see them with the headpieces.
I seen the devil with a shield on a few months ago. Yes. I'm talking about the kind that we wear, not the Jewish kind.
Right.
He had all black on too. Dead serious. He had all black and one of the the diamond shields.
Right.
So he had that.
He don't even know he playing crazy. When we take the kingdom, I'm gonna burn that thing in the middle of his forehead. It's gonna be part of his body. He says he want to try to claim. I can't wait. So let's get some more on the scriptures. World War III, we're gonna go deep into that tomorrow.
Here's the funny thing about it though. He said he was in some type of little gang or something. Yeah. He said there. He tried, he said he was something affiliated with the GDs or something. Yeah. He said his name of it was like something Trey something. With
Good night.
Yeah. So now they do some crimes, run around with all black on and everything.
They think it's us.
Yeah.
So UPK niggas once more have took a hot dog from this hot dog stand. Like what? Oh God.
Right. Something stupid like that. Trying to attach us for selling dope.
Right.
You gotta pop with some dope with the shield on and all black on. They be running around thinking that's us.
Right. They already think everything that goes on is us. Right. And Commander GEN.YAHANNA is passing out orders for all these wicked things to happen. And the only thing Commander GEN.YAHANNA told us to do was stay the hell up out the way and keep doing the Lord's work. That's it. Right. You understand? Commander GEN.YAHANNA is one brotherly brother, man. You listen. The nation of Israel couldn't have asked for a better leader. They couldn't have, man. It's thanks to Commander GEN.YAHANNA that every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian within the sound of my voice is listening now. That every black, Hispanic, Native Indian that falls under the UPK banner has changed their life around. You understand? Right. Like we've changed our lives. We've given up all that wicked stuff. It's thanks to Commander GEN.YAHANNA that we understand what's going on in the world. Because when I was in the world and this crap happened, just out of sheer stupidity, I'd have tried to join the army. Oh, they're attacking America? Wow. Gotta fight for my rights. What goddamn rights do you have here? Right, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Just 2 months ago, it was telling you make America great again and telling you to go back to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Like the racists came out the closet when Trump got in office.
Yeah.
They came out the closets marching. You will not replace us. They had their little khaki pants, white t-shirts, horrible bowl cut haircuts. You know what I'm saying? Marching real mad.
Right.
Real mad. Had their little guns out. You know what I'm saying? Like just doing the most. And now that this war is about to happen, guess who they're gonna try to turn to save America? Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Guess who they're gonna try to recruit to save America? Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man.
Right.
Guess who they're coming for? They're trying to get you. And you know what you should tell them? This is what you should tell them. I can't sign up. And you killed all our soldiers. You know how many black people they killed this year? You want me to join the army after your police been running in the streets shooting unarmed black men down?
Right.
You want somebody to go to the army, get all them school shooters you took alive.
Hold them up.
Right.
They alive, ain't they?
Right.
They alive and well. They full too. They was going to Burger King and all that when they went to jail.
Right.
That's who you need to get.
Right.
Get them white school shooters. Leave our brothers and sisters alone. Don't be trying to get us to save America after you done already tried to destroy, after you've been destroying us and killing us in the same place. You told us that we had absolutely no right and no nothing in this place, and now you want us to fight for it? God damn that oppressor. Go ahead, sir.
And black women, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women, y'all damn sure don't need to go in the military.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all damn sure don't need to go because, for one thing, they gonna feel that they're losing their grasp and control over black men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. They already feel that.
Right. So now she go into the military. Now she ain't gonna have the heart to fight against. You know what I'm saying?
The oppressor.
Against the oppressor. So, you know, other than sex, what good is she gonna be inside the military?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then she gonna have sex with the people that actually hate her. And then she gonna wind up like that one woman was that they sprinkled a lie inside of vagina.
Right. That's what I was just thinking. Think about how many sisters they done murdered and raped inside the military.
Right.
Just think about that before you join. Do your research. Understand that these same people now that want you to save America is the same people that wanted you out of America. It's the same people that told you that you had no rights in America. The same people that told you that you don't belong in America. The same people that told you to get out of America.
Right.
They want to make it great again. And the only way to make America great again in the eyes of the oppressor is to make every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian a slave again. Make America great again means to make blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian slaves again.
Right. Well,
yes, sir.
Make America great again ain't nothing but the more bolder term for conservatism. Because at first, it was conservatism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People didn't, really know what that even meant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
White supremacy.
Right. Yeah. Black conservatives out there, they didn't know. They didn't know. Yeah. Here's the thing. They didn't know. They had no clue what did they think. A black conservative think I'm just a Negro with a good job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I make good money.
Right.
I make good money.
So
I believe in keeping the rich richer. Right.
Which is super stupid. But white people understand what it means because what did they get? What did they have to conserve in this land? They had slaves.
Right.
That's what when they say they're conservative, they have an actual meaning behind it. It's not that they just got a good job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They found something here to conserve, which was slaves.
Right. And that's the whole purpose, if I could, sir, not to get too far off topic, but that's the whole purpose of unions and things of that nature when it comes to the oppressor. Because you got to realize that back when that was going on, that the oppressor didn't have any skill sets. The reason he didn't have any skill sets, he didn't know how to make anything. He didn't know how to build anything. He didn't know how to fix anything. He didn't know how to do any of that. And the reason he didn't know how to do any of that, because he had goddamn slaves.
Right.
He had slaves his whole life. He was born into white privilege. He was born into money. He was born into slavery.
Right.
So only thing he had know how to work was a whip. That was it. He just knew how to beat some back and keep it pushing.
Now the hell, the slave owners didn't even have to do that. No. They had the poor whites doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So hell, he didn't even know how to whip a back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wrong.
Right.
This nigger's not screaming.
Yeah, they
Billy
do that.
Bob, would you come over here?
Right.
He come over there, mouthful of tobacco.
Right.
Yeah, I got you, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Just as dusty as you be, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? You know. And that was the dude that they would use to do the dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
They use him or some coon black man.
And the funny part is,
You know what I'm saying?
all
Yeah,
of them right now are in power right now. These are the governors and cities and mayors of every major city in America. That's why I can't wait. Listen, hurry up with the goddamn war, Salaki. Let's get to firing some missiles, Salaki.
Here's a funny thing too. Now they've been raised and governed in society. Hell, they can't even do that.
No, they can't.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
they don't even understand that stuff like homosexuality is going to tear up the kingdom.
Right.
They don't even have that type of understanding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And here's the thing. They got the understanding, but the thing is this. They are already living that perverted lifestyle. They're already living that life. So to them, that's part of making America great again. Because in their mind, you got to realize you do realize, but these is the Roman descendants and the Greek descendants. Like they never gave up on that. They lived that. That's in their heart and soul. That's why we got so many goddamn Greek shows and Roman shows and stuff.
Right.
They make that stuff because that's really their culture and they know it. They appropriate our culture to keep you a nice and docile slave.
Here's the thing. Actually, they lost the understanding of that because at least way back in the day, you had homosexual senators and stuff like that.
Right.
But they wasn't trying to press laws and to pass laws to make the stuff legal. They did the stuff in secret.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, they come, forth, as if they would govern the society. You know what I'm saying? And really shunning all of that stuff.
Right.
They would do that stuff in secret. But now they just bring it all out in the open. They thinking this is going to make them great. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they think that. I think they do it just because that's another way for them to fight against Christ.
Yeah, of course it is.
Like they just right now what they see. This is really what I believe that they see. Like the scriptures say. Like there was a time where the truth was taken away from the earth. The Most High took the truth away from the earth, but now He's brought it back. This is that time that He's brought it back. Like if you look at the school from 1969 to where it is now, like there is not one person on really. I'm put it like this: for as the oppressors is concerned, every major news outlet knows about the I.S.U.P.K and the Convention GEN.YAHANNA.
Right.
Every single major news outlet knows about that. The reason that we're not on the news all the time is because it's what they're doing what's called a blackout, which means that they know about it, all the other news outlets know about it, but if you speak about it, then you bring life into it. You get what I'm saying? So they don't want to bring life into the I.S.U.P.K on their end. You feel what I'm saying? They don't want to do that. They don't want to speak about the I.S.U.P.K on their platform because think about the white devil, think about the oppressors who haven't heard about it. You get what I'm saying? That don't know about us. Think about all the coons that don't know about us. And then when they watch this outlet and watch this and love their oppressor so much that when they do hear about it, that's going to be the same people that some snap at them and be like, let me join myself to my people. Then when they get to seeing how we move and how we operate and all of that, they're going to be like, dang, everything these brothers say is right. Because that was me when I was in the world. Even though I was doing all these wicked things, selling drugs and all this other wicked stuff, like every black man was my enemy. I stereotyped every black man I see and never stereotyped an oppressor. Never. I didn't know how to stereotype an oppressor. Even though I knew he was the devil the Bible speaks of, my Christian heart would not let me hate him the way that I had hate for a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. And here's the killer part. I didn't even know why I had hate for a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. I was programmed to hate them. That's why the TV is such a powerful weapon. See, we call it TV, but we don't call it by its whole name. It's called television programming because they're programming you to hate your own people.
There's a scripture that says they believe that their houses should abide forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what
even
they
in the midst, even in the midst of them, passing gay laws and all types of laws that they know is gonna mess up the society, in their heart they believe that they're gonna stay in rulership. Mm-hmm. I mean, they wouldn't fight Christ if they didn't believe that.
Right. It wouldn't be no space program.
Right. They wouldn't if they didn't believe that, they wouldn't try to fight Christ. just be like, well,
we just gotta answer for our sins.
This time, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, we had a good run. We had a good run.
Right. So we had a good run.
They actually believe that they can win.
Right. And you can't
You know
tell
what
them
I'm
nothing different. Like prime example, Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump, I believe is his whole name. You get what I'm saying? Look at what he's done. Like, right, he's been in office for 4 years. The whole 4 years, right? And he's been doing everything he's wanted to. He's been threatening. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Never done it. But the second that he got impeached, he wants to draw blood. The very second that he got impeached, he wants to draw blood.
Yeah.
Because in his mind, this is what he thinks. He thinks, like Officer Trump just brought out, my house will never be destroyed.
Right.
He
Trump towers forever.
Right. He knows that he has the whole backing of every white person that you can see. As far as your eye can see, and you see the oppressor, every oppressor supports Donald Trump. It don't matter what they say. It don't matter what they say. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've worked with oppressors. I got black friends. And then he gives you an exact number. I got 4 black friends. You get what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, let me tell you something. If you know how many friends that you got of a certain nation, them ain't really your friends. Them is just some tokens. That's where the whole concept of token Negro come from.
Right.
That was the masses right hand man. We'd all seen Django. You remember Samuel L. Jackson role in Django? In fact, he played that role so goddamn good, it almost made me not like him anymore. Like, for real. Like, there's just something about people that play that kind of roles. It really makes me not like them. Like Monique and Precious. I stopped liking Monique after Precious. How she was a rapist to her own child and just so wicked. Like, that made me stop liking her. When I seen Django and I seen Samuel L. Jackson, it made me stop liking him. I said, man, he played this role too goddamn good. This is really how he feels.
That's how he really be.
This is really how he feels.
You ever notice something? You ever notice, like, when they play these subservient roles in slavery?
They so good at it.
Yeah.
They so good at it.
And then look at who they married after the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just like with Halle Berry with Monsters Ball. What did she do right after Monsters Ball? She wouldn't got her a white man.
I didn't like her in Swordfish. Damn Monsters Ball. She's showing her rack in Swordfish. She's showing her little boobies in Swordfish with John Travolta.
Monsters Ball was way worse.
Yeah, it was, because they gave her Billy Bob Thornton. Like they took our so-called best and paired it with their worst. Why come Brad Pitt wasn't in there? That's who everybody loved, the black women and white women. Right. They love Brad Pitt. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I'll beat the snot out of his nose.
That's how it was in slavery, though.
Right, I know.
They would have the bottom barrel white man messing with the black woman.
Right, the same one that you was just talking about that's beating your back.
Right.
He's the one that's raping your woman.
Right.
He beats your back, rape your woman.
They ain't have to rape her. She was giving it willingly.
Right, to try to save you some stripes.
Hell, as a matter of fact, what people don't know is, right after the Civil War, the biggest race mixers on the planet were black women with poor, dirty white dudes. You know what I'm saying? They were the biggest race mixers on the planet. The first legitimized marriage, you know what I'm saying, between interracial marriage was a black woman with a white man.
That sounds about
in 1968.
Right. That sounds about right. That was a former slave master.
Right, and you look at all them doo-wop girls and singing in the cotton clubs and stuff like that. What were they messing with?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If I could, sir, there's a show called Underground. I never finished watching it, but I did watch a couple of episodes. And the mother on there, right? She had a daughter that was the daddy was the slave master, right?
Right.
So she had it set up to where her daughter would work in the kitchen with her, and her youngest son, she kept prolonging him, so he didn't have to go pick cotton and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
And he was by the devil too.
No. Her other kids was by a black man, okay. but her oldest daughter, I'm guessing it was, she was by the devil. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the devil actually did have love for her, but at the same time, he wasn't about to go against his race or his family for her.
Right.
So when it came down to it, he started doing some wicked stuff. Like he killed her one son and had her youngest son in a field picking cotton. And he did this because his daughter ran away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she ran away because, like we was just talking about, it was the lowly, disgusting dude trying to rape her, the lowly oppressor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got the tumbleweed thing in his mouth all the time and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like he was trying to rape her and she ended up killing him. So then she had to run. But it was a good show. But I say that to say this, like how like you were saying, like she act like she had love for that devil. You know what I'm saying? They would meet in the basement. She would be all put on her lingerie and all that stuff. Like she was enjoying sleeping with that devil.
Right.
Like,
Which is true.
She enjoyed it, and because she felt like it kept her position of power. And what's so funny about the show is that, like, that's the one thing that they always show, which is the truth, because she's sleeping with the devil, and at the same time she's trying to take the masculine spirit out of her sons. Don't make eye contact. You do whatever he tell you to do. Like her son ready to fight, and she taking that fighting spirit out of him.
Right.
He's ready to kill him. He's ready to kill the wife. Anything that's an oppressor, he's ready to kill it.
Right.
You're oppressing me, my little brother, my mother, my sister. You hurting my family. I'm ready to fight to the death. No, don't fight to the death. Be afraid to die. Be afraid to die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so before he can actually make a move to kill the oppressor had killed him because he listened to his mama, which is the scripture. Never take war counsel from a woman.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, never do that.
Ever. Don't ever listen to a woman. When it comes to warfare, when it comes to war, listen. In the house, there's some new furniture, that's one thing. But when it comes to defending your goddamn nation, don't ever in your life take war counsel from a woman.
No.
What is this? Wakanda forever, nigga?
Because in reality, when it all boils down to it, her desire is not with you.
Right.
She doesn't have faith like that.
If her desire is with you, she'd know to shut her goddamn mouth.
Right, exactly. Her desire is not with you, it's with the people that are ruling over her. She's comfortable in this slavery. She's comfortable here.
If her desire is with you, then she's willing to risk her own life to see her enemies dead.
All right.
I give you an example. Everybody's seen 300, right? Remember before he kicked the black dude in the well, he looked at his wife, and his wife shrugged her head. Yeah, kill that nigga. That's the oppressor for real. That's the oppressor woman for real. She feels that way about black people, about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. She doesn't care if it means her life. As long as you die too.
Right.
You gotta have that same goddamn mentality. I don't give a damn about my life. As long as you die. You feel me? Every other nation has that mentality. The Arabs, they put on a body bomb in a minute.
Right.
Right.
And they women's desire is what they mean.
They do the same thing.
Man,
they put body bombs on their kids, sir.
Right.
They put them on the babies, the 7-year-old. You do this for daddy. They tell your daddy, I go first. After that, you come out, cry, act like you don't know what happened, blow everybody up.
Yeah, because they love their nation. They love their fathers, their brothers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That means everything to them.
Right.
That means everything to them. The only place that means anything to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander GEN.YAHANNA.
Right.
Let me tell you something. My brothers and sisters, my nation means everything. Everything to me. There's not one brother in this school that don't feel the same way I do. When it comes to World War III, in order to save the life of every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, if I could just give up my life to save their life, I would gladly do it. But here's the funny part. I'm not the only one that feels that way. Every brother in this goddamn school feels that way. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
That's something that I learned a long time ago. If you hold on to your life like it's some precious thing, like, oh man, I don't want to die. I'm such a rope, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They're coming. If you hold on to your life like some kind of, who almost cussed. Whoa, I caught myself. I almost dropped the F-bomb there. Because it's serious though. It's serious. We joke about it, but this is for real. If you hold on to your life like some goddamn coward, like your life is more important than your brother's life, like your life is more important than your nation's life, let me tell you something. You're going to die a horrible death. You're going to die a horrible goddamn death, man. because your life is not some precious thing.
Right.
In fact, your life belongs to the Most High. You can't hold on to something that belongs to somebody else. Your life, your soul, everything that you feel inside of you belongs to the Most High. So everything needs to be dedicated to Him. That's why we do the work that we do. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
It's a bad time to be in the military.
Right.
A very bad time to be in the
Clap
military.
that up. Clap
You
that
know
up.
what I'm saying?
If you're a black, Hispanic, or Indian, you get the hell out of there.
Right.
Mutiny.
Right.
It's mutiny time.
They're gonna be having some type of bombs that hit and they totally evaporate niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, yeah, this is gonna be bad.
It's called the incinerator.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be, bombs that knock out the oxygen for 20 blocks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna be sitting here drinking, looking, laughing.
Right. It's
Go
gonna be
ahead,
crazy.
And if you're alive, it's a good what a time. If you're alive, or if you're in the U.P.K, what a time to be alive.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Did you see that post I put out earlier?
I think that hold on. That's just bad.
When you see your enemies being destroyed, the face you make, we gonna be celebrating. We're gonna be celebrating.
Yeah,
You understand? We're gonna be celebrating. This is a glorious time for us. We ain't afraid of World War III. We ain't afraid of the Most High coming back.
That's right.
You understand? We understand what's gonna transpire. We understand what's gonna go down. We understand what has to happen. Everything that you see has to happen. It has to. It has to. Listen, the world has been in disarray for too long. And we love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians so much that we the only ones. Listen, and we ain't got to tell you what we willing to do. You know what we willing to do. You see us at camp all the time in every single solitary major city around the world. Go ahead, soldier, bring it out.
Hey, and all them celebrities and shit that they don't claim about the people they all war ready and all, they moving to Africa.
Listen, let them.
Ludacris, Meek Mills.
Listen, let them move. They just don't know that the Lord is going to come
there
down with
too.
Right.
250 million angels and slaughter all of them. Listen, let me tell you something, black man. If you really want to be safe, you know where you should move to? The ghetto. If you're rich and got a lot of money, move back to the ghetto and help fortify the ghetto. Matter of fact, move to the ghetto that has an I.S.U.P.K school there. And then what you do is you go there and you give 10% of everything that you got in your goddamn bank to the I.S.U.P.K. And let them use that money because Commander GEN.YAHANNA is going to fortify the whole damn neighborhood.
You know what, though?
Yes, sir.
For them, that's too black.
Yeah, that is.
You know what I'm saying? That's too black.
That is.
They don't want to do nothing like that.
Right.
That's too black for them. They figure they do that, they're going to get cut completely off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then they'll take their behind over to Africa, which also that shows that we're not the same people as them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They go over to Africa and do stuff. The Africans get rich off of them, feed off of them, but then they won't do nothing for the blacks, the black people here. You know what I'm saying? They won't do anything.
Okay, that's such a heavy point that you're breaking out. Like, my thing is this. Why are you running over to Africa when you over here in America? And before you was rich and famous, you had to be a regular person.
Right.
You just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're black, you're not born into money. It's not.
Right.
Because the rich people who are truly rich, like Oprah refuses to have any kids. When she dies, she gonna leave all her goddamn money to a cat or something like that.
Right.
If it's not a cat, it's gonna be an oppressor.
Yeah, exactly.
Believe me when I tell you this. If she doesn't leave all her money to a cat, she's gonna leave it to an oppressor.
Right.
And if she leaves it to a cat, it's gonna be a white cat, like the one on the meme.
Right.
One of that meme on Facebook. Cat. Yeah. She's gonna leave it to a white cat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's just how messed up and destroyed our people are. You get what I'm saying? But if you come into some money, you have to work for it. Like LeBron James had to work to get where he is now. And I say him because I actually like LeBron James. You get what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about no sports or none of that. But I see that he at least attempts to do stuff for his people. Right. And he's afraid because he always has to involve the white man, so like the oppressor. He has to involve the oppressor because he feels like if he don't involve the oppressor, then he's going to get shunned and boxed out of everything that he's trying to do. And he just can't simply have that because for some odd reason, $100 billion ain't enough. I mean, $1 billion ain't enough to him. But Like this
Yeah.
nigga make a lot of money. I don't know how much money he make, but
He
he makes a lot. Go ahead, sir.
He understand they can sit there and shut off that black card at any time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of the times, them celebrities don't rock cash unless they're doing it for a video.
Right.
They got to get permission. You know what I'm saying? Like they shooting a video, you know, and they want to throw money and stuff like that and show a lot of money. They got to get permission to do that.
The lifetime is fake.
Right.
I mean, I think the money be real, but the jewelry be fake.
Only time it's real is when they at a concert. When they at a concert and they throwing money, that's when it be real. But when they be in a video or taking pictures, they got a big old stack of money. That'd be fake. You know what I'm saying? Only person that's really rocking real money like that I can think of is Floyd Mayweather. But that's because he has an inferiority complex. You get what I'm saying? Like Floyd Mayweather really hates himself. And not only do he hate himself, but he hates blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
He hates every black man. And like only black man that he don't hate is the people that come up under him, and that's because he's doing this with their mind. He's manipulating their mind to where they think like how he thinks.
Right. In reality, they hate him too. Right. He hate him. You know, they hate each other. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
right.
He hates his father. Father hate him.
Like that young cat he bringing up. Like trust me when I say this. I'm a priest and prophet of the Lord. And this is if the world is long enough to see it transpire. But what's that cat name that's knocking out everybody right now? Devontae Davis. Watch what I tell you when I tell you this. Eventually him and Floyd is gonna do this. They're gonna clash.
Or even if he lose,
and then he's gonna bring out all the wicked things about Floyd Mayweather that you ain't never heard before. He's gonna bring out a lot of wicked things about him. Because like Officer,
if he lose,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Gonna disown him.
You look what he did with Adrian Broner. He ain't on the money team no more.
Right. I think he couldn't handle that because Adrian Broner wouldn't let them talk to him any kind of way.
Now Adrian Broner was damn near worse than Floyd Mayweather. He called him his big brother, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I know that was on camera, but behind the scenes, I think Floyd Mayweather and reckless, and Adrian Broner got to talking crazy because look at his spirit on him. Like his spirit, like let me tell you something. That's a Judite for real. That nigga Malcolm, and he don't give a damn. He remind me of me. Win, lose, or draw, I'm talking crazy. I'm gonna talk crazy all the way up into the fight, and when I get beat up after the fight, I'm gonna still be talking crazy. Right. I'll be talking crazy after the fight. Can we get a little bit of
I'll do the radio show. I mean, get the radio show.
Okay, I'm gonna wait this one back from last year. If we can get 20 more minutes, because we got all the way out the scriptures. So now I'm gonna go back to the scriptures.
Yeah, you go ahead and grab some.
If we could, Soldier, you still holding that spot?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Listen, Salakia. You know what I'm saying? We got all the way off the science class to start talking about World War III. I was really trying to save World War III until tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But we had to touch on it, man. We had to touch on it. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow we're going to go deep into it. That was the plan. You know what I'm saying? Hit the science class today, do World War III tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But we got caught up in World War III. So we about to get ready to end class. But before we do, I want to get some more. I'm going to bring some more scriptures out. If we could, Soldier. Now we're about to switch gears again. We're going back into science, into the Bible. So a lot to get to all our online viewers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just doing our job. Salaki Cap, if I could, I know we...
Make sure let them know about the radio show tonight.
Radio show tonight. That's what I was about to ask you. Can I get a little bit over?
Nah, we got to get ready for the radio show tonight.
Khan.
And we got to make big announcements, big shit.
Khan. Well, with that being said, we about to go ahead and wrap it up there. You know what I'm saying? Ken Kapash about to run his radio show tonight. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up.
Not my radio show. Command GENYAHANNA. Black Watch.
I thought you was talking about the take ground, break ground.
No, the Black Watch is about to come on.
Come.
Yeah, he about to talk about World War III. So
Come.
make sure everybody tunes in for that.
Come. Most high Christ. Well, shit, what can I say? That's Commander GEN.YAHANNA. We're about to go ahead and shut it down so we can all get ready to watch Commander GEN.YAHANNA. That goes to show you that I was being selfish as hell. I'm trying to get the science class out. Like, we trying to bring up the science, sir. Who? Commander GEN.YAHANNA? Who's that? Most High Christ. We the I.S.U.P.K. started 1 West under Commander Gen.YAHANNA. You understand? Damn right. You understand? We're about to wrap this class up because we're about to get ready for this show. World War III on the brink, man. Listen. Every nigga in the I.S.U.P.K. is praying that this happens. You understand?
Right.
The sooner this happens, the sooner Christ comes back, the sooner I get to hunt down all the heathens and slaughter them. I know I sound selfish saying that, but that's what I was born to do. I was born to take the lives of the heathens. My plantation will be the plantation of death. Whenever you want a heathen to die, send them to me. I'm not even going to charge you for it. I'm gonna just ask you just give a tribute. Whatever you can afford to give a brother, give it. I don't care if it's iron, silver, gold, more devils to slay. It doesn't matter. Just send it my way, and I'm gonna make it happen. You understand? We are the I.S.U.P.K. started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Gen.YAHANNA. And our mission is to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who they are according to the Bible, and that the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. You understand? Right. And with that being said, I'm about to get these announcements in and close this class out. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has a particular interest in a person, he or she must get permission from the head. So he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandments, numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3 and 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'ashra. 10% of every increase, 10% of every penny increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatever so amount you would like. Upcoming holy complications. Passover, April 9th. April 9th. I got it right this time, Israel. Passover, April 9th. Cap already told you what time it is. You need to be having like 2-3 garments. Right. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I understand that, you know what I'm saying, we live in slavery and we don't have a lot of money. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Even if you can't afford 2 or 3 garments, what you need to do is make your one garment so hard. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my one garment so hard that when I put it on one day and then I just flip it in and do this and do that to it, like just little simple altercations, that it's going to look like a whole new garment. Right. You get what I'm saying? That's how you got to come, man. So it's going to be a glorious day. Go ahead, Soldier.
Put it inside out.
Hey, shut up. Quit telling my secrets. Quit telling my secrets. You understand? Because we poor in Israel. Yeah, but like we just brought out, you understand? We are cunning in all wisdom. That even includes garment making. So we about to get it in. April 9th, Passover. Commander Gen.YAHANNA has issued the order. Listen, I'm going to say that again. Commanding General Yahanna has issued the order. One more time. Commanding General Yahanna has issued the order. He's not asking. This is an order. And the reason he can give that order is because Commanding General Yahanna is the highest ranking general on the face of this planet when it comes to Hebrew Israelites, regardless of where you started at, regardless of who you are, regardless of what you believe. Everybody on the face of this planet is under Commander General Yahanna. Every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian is under Commander General Yahanna. I know it's a lot of brothers that like to think that they outrank him. I don't want to get no brothers, say no names and get that nigga no glory, but you don't. You understand? The scriptures say you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears.
All right.
The I.S.U.P.K. is the biggest in the blackest organization on the face of planet Earth.
Right.
And I go so far as to say the whole universe, the whole concept of space. This is it. You understand? The Lord knows who, everybody knows who the Lord is with. The oppressor knows who the Lord is with. You understand? When something happens, they don't run to you. They run to Commander GEN.YAHANNA. Commander GEN.YAHANNA, tell us what just happened. You feel what I'm saying? That's what they do. This is the organization. And he has invited you all to the Passover.
Right.
And the way things is looking, this is going to be the last one. Lord willing, listen, Lord willing, this is the last one. This is the last one in this kingdom. Let me put it like that. Go ahead, soldier.
What about the Hebrew Academy, though?
Listen, we're going to get that when we become hunters. Like the scripture said, I will send for many fishers and many hunters. You're going to get that Hebrew Academy when we become many. Because it's time. It's time. Like I said, every brother in I.S.U.P.K is praying that these missiles get to flying and this war get to happen. We ain't afraid. We ain't afraid. We want it to happen. Please and thank you. I ain't never told the devil please in a minute. Since I've been in the truth, I ain't told him please at all. Everything is my birthright. But when it comes to this World War III, would y'all please get it cracking? Please fire a missile. We don't give a damn. We ain't afraid of this. We waiting on this. So we can usurp authority and take rulership.
Right.
So them skies can crack open, and you can see the Most High Christ come back down with these 250 million angels. And then you will see everything that the I.S.U.P.K said is the absolute truth. But until then, get ready for the Passover. I.S.U.P.K, every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian within the sound of my voice, get ready for the Passover. Because nothing, you don't have nothing else to worry about. That war don't concern you. That don't concern you. Not until we get to cracking and we get ready to usurp authority. You get what I'm saying? We get ready to take rulership. But other than that, we ain't worried about fighting for no America. You get what I'm saying? We ain't fighting for no America, no Iran. We don't give a damn about that. We about to get Hebrew fresh for the Passover, April 9th. You understand? Which is also going to be the beginning of the new year.
Right.
With that being said, if anybody wants to become a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, pants, scarf, headband, boots. With that being said, a margin, which means to stand, upon hakidam, which means to turn and face the east. About to get it in with the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazaraka, Hayah, Ashah, Ba'aratazar, Hayah, Hashemayim, Nathan, Lanawa, Lakam, Kal, Wine, Wasalakinaw, Abawatanaw, Wasalakinaw, Abawatanaw, La what? Salaki. Wala'a. La wala'a. Taba'ah now. Bazan one. Above. I was a knocking now. Mine. Right. Kaya. Lakam. Hamalakwa. Wahalara. Wataparth. Walayim. Aman. In the English. Our Father. Which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us our debt. As we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. And thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Amen. The prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. Babakashah. The thunder now. Akah. Dr. Prague. Kamakawak. Kamarawak. Akah. Dr. Hart. Hamatazrayim. Akah. Atiquatium, Hakamite, Hamatazayim, Haka, Al-Rakamawaf, Hama Salaki, Hatamala, the Garshan, Bashim, Yahushua, the water, Aman. In the English, Yahweh. And in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against the clean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Yahushua. Wamakala. Matazabah. Awapyana. Awapyum. Atazamayim. Akasazayim. Akazayayim. Wamakala. Yahweh. Bashim. Yahushua. The water of mud. In English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushua, and Michael, and the angels, Commander GEN.YAHANNA, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. The anointed prayer in the Hebrew. Yahbarka, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Yahweh, Pinyawaka, Salaki, Pinyawa, Ayaka, Wayamarka, Ashaya, Yahweh, Pinyawa, Ayaka, Wayashem, Laka, Shalom, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, the Thurman family, the Sutton family, the Hill family, the Puckett family, the Wright family. Done.
The Hall family.
The Hall family.
Todd family.
The Todd family.
Thurman family.
The Thurman family.
Johnson family.
Johnson family.
And all the destroyed of Israel.
And all destroyed of Israel.
Yeah.
The Johnson family.
Johnson family.
The Gatewood family.
Gatewood family.
Finney family.
Finney family.
The Hughes family.
Hughes family.
Graceland family.
Graceland family.
Wrestler family.
Wrestler family.
Thurman family.
Thurman family.
Puckett family.
Puckett family.
And all destroyed of Israel.
All destroyed of Israel.
Done.
All destroyed of Israel.
All destroyed of Israel.
Done.
Done. By Hashem Yahushua, the water of mud. In English, Yahweh. And the bloodstained keep thee. Yahweh. Make his face shine upon thee. And be gracious unto thee. And give thee peace. Yahweh. Lift up his countenance unto thee. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. In the name of the Lord which we just named. God. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathens. That speak against us. And thy prophets. And thy teachers. And thy prince. And thy priests. And thy Israelite brothers in the school. Send evils and curses. Punishment and destruction. To the heathens. And shake loose the treasures. Of the rich of Israel. That refuse to get to the school. Force their riches. To enter into their sanctuary. And evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. And Edomites. And their nations. And their drug dealers. The court system. The prison system. Planned Parenthood. All governments of our enemies. Roman Catholic Church. The Pope. Islam. Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Posse Comitazi. Gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. That's the space program. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
Cable access channels.
Cable access
And
channels.
the radio channels.
And the radio
To
channels.
convict that spirit.
Convict that spirit.
And every other people
Within our people.
that seek to stop us.
And seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction
Bring swift destruction.
to the heathens
To the heathens.
that stand in the way.
And stand in the way.
Or try to stop us.
And try to stop
From
us.
broadcasting that word
Broadcasting your word.
throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose the plagues.
Loose the plagues.
Cause them to go
Cause them to go
to and fro
to and fro
through the earth.
through the earth.
And consume them.
Consume them.
Let the plagues
Let the plagues
shake the house
shake the house
of the thief
of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
The Yahushua,
The Yahushua,
Michael,
Michael,
Gabriel,
Gabriel,
come down
down
with the flying saucers
flying saucers.
and punish all the heathens
Punish all the heathens
to come against us
that come against us.
as we speak thy word.
As we speak that word,
Cause it to be known
cause it to be known
by all
by all
that it's the angels that have done it.
that it's the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread
Cause it to be spread
throughout the media,
throughout the media,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause the shake at the coming.
Shaking that cover.
In the name of Yahushua,
And then we outside.
thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Stop, which means to turn. Amazba, Amazim, Barak, Yahweh, Azamata, courtesy salute to the sisters. Amazba, Amazim, Barak, Yahweh, Azamata, class dismissed. We offline, sir?